Hi, my name is Joshua Scott, and I am in the Educational Specialist Degree Program for Instructional Technology at Kennesaw State University. I began the program in summer 2015 and I will graduate in December 2016. My capstone project, entitled Professional Learning and Mentorship for Technology Integration, was completed at Manning Oaks Elementary School, one of the most diverse elementary schools in Alpharetta, Georgia. In the spring of 2016, the faculty and staff at Manning Oaks Elementary completed this professional development survey. The data from this survey was used to drive the professional developments from the capstone experience. The data from the survey showed that nearly three-quarters of the staff were willing to establish a mentorship arrangement to help roll out anything learned in a professional development. At the same time, nearly the entire staff needed to know more information about the three instructional strategies that our school took on in order to roll out the one-to-one technology deployment. Exactly two-thirds of the staff were interested in learning more about technology and technology implementation in the classroom. This made sense because it has become a huge instructional push at Manning Oaks Elementary. The last focus of this survey was to create a blended learning environment for professional developments. I threw this question on there just merely out of curiosity. It was really concerning that about a quarter of the staff had no idea what professional development offered in a blended learning environment meant. After showing my principal the results of the survey, we sat down and discussed how to rectify that nearly the entire staff didn't know anything about the three instructional strategies and how they would be implemented at our school. So we created a plan which we ended up sending to the district about how we planned on executing each of the three instructional strategies, which were choice and voice varied strategies and co-planning learning. I created the PD calendar while we discussed how some of the PDs might happen during the monthly faculty meetings. My principal recognized my interest in arranging the calendar and my interest in PDs. After chatting with the KSU technology coach that was working with other teachers, I devised a plan to roll out blended learning PDs at my school. In order to do this, I took a PD day, a professional development day rather. In January, I was able to sit down with the KSU technology coach and three other professional development coordinators in order to learn how they deliver PDs at their school. I was able to come up with Sophia, which gives you online courses, and was able to create an online blended learning version of professional development for the teachers at my school. I then met with my principal in order to announce it at a future faculty meeting. I had a meeting with the other professional learning facilitators in my district, and I learned a lot about professional learning and PD implementation. A lot of the schools had Tech Tuesdays, where they hosted PDs around recent technological trends. I also learned a lot about Fall Flat on Your Face Wednesdays, where the teachers had a day to implement technology to try new strategies in their classroom without the fear of being scrutinized under a TEKS evaluation. I thought that this was an awesome idea. I brought both of the ideas directly to my principal, where he immediately got behind them. Then we collaborated to make a plan for our school for professional learning for the school year. We also discussed how technology might be used in order to help facilitate this plan. In August, I gave a crash course to 8 teachers who were eager to use Google Apps for Education. They were interested in seeing how easy it was to collaborate and how I had used Google Apps for Education in the past. I worked one-on-one with one teacher in order to create her Google Classroom. I showed her how easy it was to add students to her roster and how she could easily allow students to collaborate. She was nervous about one student doing all the work and not the other students contributing. That's when I showed her how to see the revision history. She could click on the new changes and she could be able to see who did what at what time. I also told her that I show my students this revision history as I introduce a collaboration project. Her students were working on writing drafts for a personal narrative. I also showed her how other students could easily add comments instead of collaborating if that was what she needed. She was very hesitant at first, but since then, she used Google Classroom as a way to share assignments, host URLs for classroom reviews such as quizzes, and she even used it as a way to collaborate with other students. After my one-on-one with a third grade teacher, news quickly spread and the other teachers became extremely interested in the mentorship with Google Classroom. After helping her set up her Google Classroom, I helped her set up exit tickets in Google Forms. I showed her how easy it was to use conditional formatting in order to add rules and see if students were getting the answers that she required. This example shows that people are answering correct and it's being indicated with the green highlight, while the other students who got it wrong are being indicated by a red highlight. I showed the teacher how easy it was to change the conditional formatting so it graded itself or screened for keywords. I helped her create an easy way to screen her exit tickets to form groups to drive instruction for the next day. My principal wanted to host a faculty meeting on how we could get the most on limited devices. I suggested showing teachers how to use Plickers and then creating a formative assessment using quizzes at the end. He really liked the idea, especially since my principal loves memes. In this picture, you'll see students from my classroom using quizzes on a regular basis. They use this as their social studies review. After this faculty meeting, several teachers approached me about using Plickers and quizzes in their class. I even went to a teacher's class during my planning time and walked her step by step through using Plickers. I really think that this was by far the coolest thing that had happened in the duration of my capstone. I gave the students the ability to create any digital representation of their learning as long as they were able to accurately prove that they had mastered the concept. I had one student who blew me away with her Bitable. I had never even heard of it before. She came to school early one day and showed me how she created it. Then I passed the knowledge along to the other teachers and students within my building. I delivered a PD on it. I told my students that I'm always open to new ideas and I love teaching them, but I also love learning from them as well. I'm going to give you a 30-second clip of the students' work, and I have special permission to do this. As you see, I used that Bitable as a catalyst to create my Bitable that came at the beginning of the presentation. The biggest problem that I had with the implementation was the fact that I started executing the capstone experience in the final semester of one school year and the beginning part of another school year. There was a large turnover at my school, and roughly a third of the school population left for retirement, relocation, or they got jobs at other schools. The hardest part was gauging the overall success because there were new teachers at my school. If I were to administer a post assessment, I would have asked a lot of the same questions that I asked initially. I would have asked the instructional strategies that teachers were most unfamiliar with. I would ask them to gauge how successful they felt the mentorship program was on a scale of 1 to 10. I also would have asked them to elaborate on the technology arrangement and ask them to talk about what they liked the most about it and what could be changed for the future. In conclusion, my capstone was successful because it really engaged teachers with the technology conversation at Manning Oaks. I have several teachers that are looking forward to hosting their own professional developments on Tech Thursdays, and the teachers are coming up to me on a regular basis and sharing apps and other Web 2.0 tools that they can use in their classroom. They are even passing their new learning off to other teachers within the building. Thank you so much.